Thank you for joining me for the fifth video in this series on bedrooms and how they affect the contribution of the houses that we are listing, appraising, and selling. Today, I want to talk about a concept. You know the word, it's called utility. I'm going to provide the definition here according to Merriam-Webster. The definition of utility, the first definition, is fitness for some purpose or worth to some end. The second definition is something useful or designed for use. Now, I'm going to leave that on the screen while I talk for a minute, and I want you to think about how this concept of utility, as it is defined by Merriam-Webster, applies to the concept of a basement bedroom. Now, I want to describe two different kinds of basement bedrooms that I see in my practice. Okay, let's start with a very modern, new, upscale house, over 500,000, maybe over 600,000. We're talking about Louisville prices, so we're talking about a very nice house that's built on a lot that slopes from front to rear, and it has a walkout level, lower level in the back of the house with excellent fenestration and an exit door from the basement. Now, that type of house with a bedroom or two bedrooms that have windows facing the backyard, the windows are large enough to climb in and out of in case of an emergency. The bedrooms are finished to the same grade and quality as the first floor, and there is a bathroom in the basement adjacent of the bedrooms or connecting to the bedrooms. Now, in a situation like that, we're talking about rooms that contribute significantly to the value of the home overall. Okay, that's called utility. That's called utilization. Okay, we'll look at another definition here while we're exploring this. This is, the other one was utility. This is utilize, okay? And it's a verb, and it's to make use of. Turn, to practice, use, or account, okay? And again, what we're talking about is with regard to basement bedrooms, how are they utilized? Now, if you can imagine, I just described a very nice design in a modern upscale home of bedrooms with good fenestration, good natural lighting, safety factor where you can go in and out through the window, an adjacent bathroom, high level finish in a modern home, okay, with modern HVAC, that's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. We're talking about a very comfortable room in the basement. Now, most of us would agree there's nothing wrong with sleeping in a room like that. But now I want you to imagine a house from the 1960s, a musty old basement with a kind of a low ceiling, and someone finished out a 11 by 11 paneled room with old shag carpet and a drop ceiling and a fluorescent light, and they call that a bedroom. Now, the thing about how is a room like that utilized? In my practice, usually what I see is that room is a storage room. Seldom do I see people sleeping in such a room. Okay, so that goes back to utility. How do you utilize a room? So if the room in the older home that is not a pleasant place to sleep is being filled with things for their next garage sale, the room is being utilized as a storage room. Now, this may be a very long and dry section of this video, and if you can bear it to allow me to read this, this comes out of one of our appraising textbooks. It's called The Appraisal of Real Estate. It's a 700-page textbook of very dense reading, and there's a very section on this called utility, and I realize this could be a very long, dry definition. But if you could take your time and either listen to me read it or pause it and read it yourself and consider how this definition applies to certain kinds of bedrooms. When you're assessing a house yourself, when you're evaluating a house and you don't have the benefit of an appraisal, a recent appraisal, or me as your appraiser in this case, you are effectively going to have to appraise this house to some respect. Okay, so understanding when you're looking at a basement bedroom or any kind of room, utility room, auxiliary room, mud room, living room, dining room, anything like that, you should consider what is the utility. Now, let's look at it in terms of an academic view in our industry. Okay, so utility is the ability of a product to satisfy a human want, need, or desire. Now, I just described a couple of different scenarios. The first being a modern house with very nicely designed bedrooms, good fenestration, comfortable high-grade finish, and an adjacent bath. Okay, that would satisfy many human needs, wants, and desires. The other extreme that I gave you was a musty, old, dark, paneled bedroom in an old basement with bad ventilation, something of a smell of mold in the room, old shag carpet. Okay, that wouldn't fill too many human wants, needs, and desires. So you can imagine that such an old, unattractive bedroom would add no value to the house that you're listing, or the house that you're selling, or the house that your client is considering buying. Let's continue on. All properties must have utility to tenants, owner investors, or owner occupants. Now I'll add, in order for them to have value. Okay, residential properties satisfy the need for shelter. Commercial properties may have design features that enhance their attractiveness. The benefits of these properties are called amenities. The value of amenities is related to their desirability and utility. Let's go back to the bedroom scenario where I gave you two extremes. Okay, one is desirable and has much utility. The other one is not desirable and has nearly no utility other than a catch-all room, a storage room. Okay, utility to an owner-occupant or tenant-occupant. The value to a tenant can be converted into income in the form of rent. The benefits derived from income-producing properties can usually be measured in terms of cash flow. The influence of utility on value depends on the characteristics of the property. Size, utility, design, utility, location, utility, and other specific forms of utility can significantly influence the value of property. Thank you for listening, and if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section. If you have questions, you can either leave them in the comment section or email me. Thank you, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.